Okay, got to run through the new design that I'm put together here for you. I'm always trying to improve and become a little better version. So the second part, which is the bottom half, the inside three panels, obviously that's upside down, but I really don't want to concentrate right now on that. And a lot of that's actually what I would call self-explanatory. So what we're going to do is focus on during this session. I've modified a couple things here just to make the printouts look a little easier. This, of course, is the outside panel. So this is your front panel here. This is your back panel, and this is actually the inside fold. Okay, so I've done a couple things here just to help you continue to keep a couple things and kind of eliminating some of the blank space just because, this is designed for you to really get down short shrift to get to what's most important and not write a novel or an essay, actually getting down to, in this version here, let me get you a highlight. We're getting down to, what we wanted to talk to about 10 words or less. Okay. So we've talked about the gravestone. We know that this is something that allows us to have our ultimate life focus, our alignment. And what I've done here is I brought in one of the images that actually comes in from the actual P5 manual. So this is what we're trying to do is focus on what do we want to do at the end of our life. That's why I use the version of compass. That's why I use this in the symbol, because we want to align everything with what do we want our life to have? What do we want it to be as far as meaningfulness? And that's a life full of meaning, obviously. So, but this is designed for you to decide what is the legend that you believe the creator put you here for. And in 10 words or less, you use these two lines. When you get down and you use the five whys that we've gone through in the training before, you actually find every time you give the first answer and you ask why, and you do that in repetition 5 times, you get down to something here that's really the true legend that you want to be. And then when you say what matters most to me, that's your big why right here. So these two in combination really give you that bearing that this is designed for. That's why we call this life navigation or a compass system, so that you actually know if you want to look at this as a road headed out into the future, with these being the outside demarcations of the road kind of in 3D, seeing this go off into the distance. We don't know what this time is. Okay. We don't get that whatever you want to call it. We don't get a crystal ball, so we don't know what the date and time is going to be. We just know that there's a some point in the future that we're not going to exist here, but what do we want our time to have meant? So that's where we focus on here. What do you want your personal legend to be? That's where we're aiming at, okay? This gives us our guidelines so we know what we need to be doing, right? Who we need to be becoming. And these are our doings, our actions here headed in one aligned direction, okay? The goal here is where we're going in 10 years. That's this part right here. Where are we going to be in 10 years? Okay. So that is your big goal. And you notice goal is singular, not plural. If you need to have objectives, we'll have multiple objectives down here. These are things that you do. Okay. Right now, we're not talking about things that you do. We're talking about what you see over here in the back panel. This is the most important thing that Aristotle taught young Alexander. And this is about rehearsing, okay, to rehearse who you must become to achieve the gravestone here and the life that matters, okay? So you got to write down on here, you define who you must what? Be, okay? That's what this is all about. You're all focusing on where are you trying to be in a decade from now, okay? Tony Robbins has that great statement that says most people overestimate what they can do in a year, but they underestimate what they can do in a decade. So I built this under that concept. So what you can become in a decade. And here again is the most important thing that we continue to ask. It's the most important 3-letter word you should have in your vocabulary. Is anytime someone gives you a reason, then you should ask them because or why. When you find out the why, you find out what's really the driver underneath that. Okay. And again, going back over here to this front panel, when you write down what your 10 years are, then you also go forward and you focus on what's the first clue. And you say, Steve, why are you asking me about a clue? Because who you are going to become, okay? And you notice this is in past tense, have become my goal. This is using your imagination that we talked about in many of our trainings, and use your imagination to define your reality in real time. You also use your imagination to recreate or re-remember what you think your past was. And you also use your imagination to fear things in the future that haven't even happened. So you're actually really good at using your imagination. Now you're going to use it for good things instead of things that are unproductive and not good. So you're going to go forward in the future and you're going to find out a clue in that imagined future event. What does you becoming your goal, right, in 10 years from now? And you're going to write about that right here. So anyway, I'm using this image here. I added this as a new thing, kind of shortened up the space here. So this helps you figure out what we're doing here, okay? This is the big end, okay? And these change. That's why you rewrite this every week, because as you rewrite these, you're going to learn how to distill and define what you want your gravestone, your legend to be, who you are becoming, and why you're becoming. And as you're spending time focusing on that, that's where we go over here to the inside panel. And when you are rehearsing, okay, this, you're experiencing your imagined future, then I want you to take time as if it's already happened. I want you to jot it down. That's what these 3 lines are for here. And I want you to don't just jot it down and be reasoned and logical about it, but I want you to write down what you feels like. And then based on our trainings, we're going to use Dr. Joe Dispenza's perspective, and you give thanks. Okay. When you give thanks, your imagination is going, oh, that's already happened. And so you actually create your future as a magnet drawing you to it. This is the space where you write about that dream of that event that you are wanting to magnetize and draw to it. And this, of course, is focusing on that gratitude and the power and the value of that. So I'm going to leave this right here. Obviously, this right here is giving you space here to a draft when you are becoming this version of you. And you get to put down what skills, what training, what expertise must you gain to become this version here. And this is going to be your why, whether it's new types of skills that you don't have now, education that you might need, or different types of expertise that you must evolve into. And that may include people that you might need to know. Then you can write all that here. Again, short, limited space. That's not designed to be an essay or a novel. It's designed for you to get down to what is short shrift important, so your mind really crystallizes it. And that means less words that are more powerful. And that's it. That's all we're going to talk about on this event. Good luck. And if you have any questions, be on the Saturday training events at 6:30 Pacific time. And I will go through any of the questions there. And that's when we focus, that's at 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock Pacific time. That's where we focus on the Q&A on how to use this compass to help you with life navigation. All right. Thanks.